here with Kandia Haynesworth Designs, and thank you so much for joining in on my new series called Home and Headquarters, where you get to watch me transform a 100-year-old vintage townhouse into a new home for myself and new headquarters for my home-based embroidery and personalization business. You are looking at a chair that was in my dining room, my former dining room that is, and it is now in my new office and consultation room. I am going to be making this chair over using DIY chalk paint, some fabric for the cushion, and combining embroidery. Plus, I'll be adding some pillows. So join in on project number 10. So first I'm going to remove the cushion. I'm using a screwdriver, so I turned it over, and I am going to be unscrewing it around the corners here. And then once I unscrew all the screws, the cushion should come off very easily. I have about 2 more, and then the chair will be ready to be turned back over, and the cushion should come off very easily. Okay. Okay, so for the DIY chalk paint, you can use any kind of paint, really. I'm using the Glidden brand Spread and Complete 2-in-1 paint and primer. This runs about maybe 20 bucks or so in the stores. I believe this is a Walmart brand, actually. However, I did get it from Habitat for Humanities for $5 in their paint section, and it is brand new. Okay, so to make DIY chalk paint, you are going to need plaster of Paris, which is this. And what that is just a powder plaster. You're going to need some water, a disposable container such as a cup or a bowl, and I recommend that you use some disposable utensils like your forks, your knives, your spoons, and you're going to need a paintbrush. So let's get started. Okay, so to make your DIY chalk paint, once again, you are going to be using a disposable container and a disposable utensil, so you can just toss it after your project is done. Okay, and so I am using a plastic cup today and a plastic spoon, and you can also use whatever kind of paint you have, and you can make it whatever color you want to make it. You are going to be needing this plaster of Paris, okay, and once again, this is just powdered plaster. Okay, and so you're going to need water handy too, because remember, plaster sets. So if you mix the plaster with the paint and you're not painting fast enough, it will set on you. Okay, so I'm just going to be doing this in small increments at a time, because I just want to work on the little nooks and crannies on this chair. This chair has a lot of intricacies that I want to start on first. Okay, so you're going to pour some paint into your disposable container like so. And I'm going to put it down. And then you are going to take your plaster, and again, I suggest using a disposable utensil. I'm just going to put like 2 teaspoons in there. Then I'm going to mix it up. Actually 3. I want to add a little bit of water to it because I don't want it to set too quickly on me. And I'm just going to mix it up like so. You can feel the plaster makes it thick. Okay, so it shouldn't be thick like a pasty thick or a putty thick, but it should be thick like a creamy thick. Okay, and so I am using a small paintbrush to get inside of all these little nooks and crannies. And so this is going to be the first coat. So using this little brush allows me to get in there. And so remember, this is just the first coat. And if you think that you may want it a little bit thicker, simply just add a little bit more plaster. Just make sure you have your water near, and make sure that you stir often so it doesn't set inside of your container. Okay, so I've finished the first coat. I'm going to allow it to dry. And now I'm going to direct my attention to the cushion. I'm going to add some machine embroidery wordage to the cushion just to give it a nice personalized touch. Okay, so I've turned the fabric right side down. So this is the fabric that I'm going to be embroidering on, and this is the side that's going to be exposed on the cushion. So I'm going to turn it right side down, and then I'm going to take the cushion and position it. And then I'm just going to make sure that I have enough to pull it all the way around, like so. And then I'm going to cut the fabric. And so I'm going to be using a staple gun to put it back in place. But before that, I have to measure out the area where the embroidery is going to be on the reverse side. So first, let's get this fabric cut. Okay, so I have the fabric cut out to the size of the cushion, and I'm just going to turn it over because I need to mark the area where the machine embroidery is going to be. It's going to be here. Here. So what I'm going to do now is take some Kandia's masking tape. And masking tape, my masking tape can be found at Haynesworth.com. It is a low tack tape that I use for my embroidery projects. And so this is the area that the machine embroidery will be, or the personalization. And so I could embroider a word, I can embroider my name, I can embroider a design like flowers or so. I haven't decided what I'm going to embroider, but whatever it is going to be absolutely stunning. What I recommend is when you are going to do something like this, you want to measure the tape out to where you want your embroidery to be. So you want to make sure that you measure the tape, the area where you want your embroidery to be. And then you also want to measure the area where the height. Okay, so if you want it this big or if you want it small, whatever it is, the size of your tape should cover that. Okay, so I've marked out the area where I want the embroidery to be. So I want it to be as wide as this, if possible, and the height here. So what I'm going to do is then make sure that I embroider inside of this rectangle. Okay, and so I recommend that when you are doing this, make sure that you still have enough room to pull your fabric underneath or through so you can staple it back in place. Okay, and then make sure that the sides are even as well. Okay, so you have enough room at the sides of the fabric, you have enough room to pull it underneath. And keep in mind, I didn't put it in the center because I plan on putting pillows on this chair. Okay, and so if I had added the embroidery here, then the pillows will cover it. However, if you have a chair that you are not going to be adding pillows, then you can put it anywhere you want. So now let's take it to the embroidery machine. Okay, so I am ready to apply the second coat. I'm going to use the same method, except I'm not going to use water this time. I don't want to thin it out. I am just going to add the paint and the plaster of Paris, and then stir it up really good to make sure there are no lumps and no bubbles in there. And then I'm going to apply it onto the chair frame. Okay, so the embroidery is done, as you can see, and I'm going to turn it right side down and lay it out so I can lay out the cushion on top. Now, the embroidery came down a little lower, I'm sorry, a little higher than I wanted it to, but that's okay. I'll just reposition the cushion so I can get it where I want it to be. So we're gonna put the cushion right side down. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some temporary tacks in here just to make sure that the wordage is straight. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to tape it here. This way. Alright, so it's just temporary tape down, and I'm going to turn it over just so I can take a look at the placement and to make sure that it's straight. And I like the way it looks. And I also like the placement of it. Okay, so now I am ready to tack it. I'm just going to so when you are stapling fabric to a board or a cushion, you want to go from side to side, side to side. You don't want to go all the way around, okay? Because you want to kind of pull all the pressure and the fabric together so it's not buckling and it comes out nice and even. So I'm just going to put a staple right here. I'm going to put another one right here. But then I'm going to go to the other side. So this way we're pulling it all together. And those of you who have watched some of my other videos know that stapling is not my favorite thing to do. I think I just ran out. Okay, so I've got the fabric onto the cushion of the chair, and now it's time to complete the finished weathered vintage look on the frame of the chair. So I'll meet you back over in that area. Okay, so the second coat of the DIY chalk paint is dry on the frame of the chair, and I plan to finish it with a weathered vintage distressed look using grays and beige, and just brush it with a whitewash finish. So I'm going to come in here with some gray, and I'm just going to put a little bit just to go over it. I just wanted to give it just a gray tones. And this is going to tone that that white stark look. Even though it's eggshell, it looks stark. I want it to look like this has been painted over and over and over again, and look like it has layers and layers and layers of paint on it. Like it's just old. So I'm going to finish this, and then I'll meet you back here when I get the first coat on, because I'm imagining that this is going to take more than one layer. Okay, so I have a series of grays and beige, and I'm just going to start working on the back here and just applying it. So, and just want to get some beige tones in there as well. And again, I want this to look like it has layers and layers of paint on it, like it's been painted so many times over the years. And the white is coming through. Okay, so I have the layered look that I want, and it looks distressed. I want to take some baby wipes, and I'm just going to wipe it off. it around. I like to use baby wipes other than paper towels. Number one, I buy the store brand baby wipes, so the Walmart brand, and they are cheaper than paper towels. So, see how that looks so old? I love it. And worn. And you see that white coming through? That's the look that I was going for. And I'm still not done yet. I'm just putting this finish up there, but still not done yet. But so far, so good. Okay, so now I have that weathered vintage look that I want. I'm just going to go around the edges and sand it down. So here's the finished product. I am super happy with it. It came out exactly the way I wanted it to look. It looks old. The paint looks layered. It looks worn. It looks weathered. It came out exactly the way I wanted it to, and it does not look like a dining room chair any longer. And so as you can see, I added a couple of pillows to it, and I just want to kind of come over here a little bit closer so you can get a closer look at what I did here. And I also added that embroidery, and so I really wished I had added more words. That's my only regret here. I probably should have added be still and know, and then added, you know, Psalms 46 and so forth, but I didn't. But I still love the way it came out. And so one of the things I do want to point out with the pillow though, okay, and so you guys know that I sew, and I'm all for sewing pillows when it makes sense. These pillows came in a 2-pack, all right, and as you can see, it has that embroidery, and you know I love embroidery, okay? And so these 2-packs were $14.99 at a Burlington Coat Factory, and so with a full panel of embroidery on the front with 2 pillows, okay, especially the paisley print, all right, it was very hard to find something like this. Generally, you would not really find embroidery with a whole entire front like this for $7.50. The labor's already done. Obviously, it's professionally done, stuffed and everything. It would have cost me more to buy the materials, and it would have took me forever to duplicate something like this. So this was a good find. When you can save yourself some time for a fraction of the cost, it is worth it. Now, this pillow also came from Burlington Coat Factory. It looked like this. Okay, and what I did was I removed the button on the reverse side, and I just added a button. Now this button came from Hobby Lobby, and it is their Sewology brand, so you know that they run that 50% off on Sewology products like every 4 weeks or so, and I got it for $2.50, and it has an elegant look. And this pillow also at Burlington Coat Factory was $9.99, and so even without the rhinestone center, it still is a nice pillow. It still is a nice pillow. And so I thought it would add a nice touch to this chair. And so I am very pleased with overall how it all came out. I really like the look of it. This look is not for everyone. You know, my sister said, oh my goodness, it looks so old. And I said, yeah, I love it. And she said, yeah, I hate it. And so this is not for everyone, but it is for me. And when people walk into my home, they will see that, you know what, this is my office / consultation room, but it is very welcoming. It is very warm. And most importantly, it sets the scene for exactly where they are in a personalization company. So everything here pretty much is personalized without doing, you know, too much. Then you can also see that I have a sample. Now, I did this basket, I think about a year and a half ago, not quite 2 years ago, and I got such raving reviews, and so I duplicated again, and it came out phenomenal. And so it just sits now as a prop, and that is one of the things that I will tell you all, that when you are inviting people to your home studios, make sure you have props and things that can get their minds working and things that they want. And so someone coming here, even if they didn't have the idea of painting a chair, maybe they will get the idea of painting a chair. Even if they don't hire me to do the painting, maybe they'll hire me to do the upholstery or the embroidery on the upholstery. So you just never know, you know, a way to extend your services. Well, that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so and click that bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. And I have a bunch of new videos coming along. And once again, I want to thank you all for joining in and being patient and being loyal to my channels and checking on me and so forth. I have many videos to come and I can't wait to show you all. I can be found on Facebook at CandiaHaynesworth.com, and on Instagram at Kandia Haynesworth, and on Pinterest at Kandia Haynesworth. Or you can come and visit me on my website at CandiaHaynesworth.com. Thank you. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye.